Hello guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, we are going to see Docker volume concept. So why we need a Docker volumes, first of all. When you run a Docker container, so the Docker container inside itself, you will get a ephemeral storage. That means when the Docker container is deleted, so whatever the data that you have stored inside the Docker container is going to be deleted. If you want to host your production applications inside a Docker container, you should have a persistent volume, persistent storage concept if you want to utilize the Docker to host your production applications. Let's see. So by default, we'll try to create we'll try to observe the by default nature of a Docker container storage, and then we'll try to make it the persistent. All right. So let's do one thing. I will try to launch a Docker container. The same container I want to utilize, and Windows container 3, and I'm just creating it. The container is created. Here I can see. All right. So I want to connect to the container using Docker exec-it, and then the container ID or the container name, and then the command what you want to execute. I want to run a PowerShell inside this Docker container. As you can see, I just connected to the Docker container. Let's say I'm storing my application data here. See app data. And inside the app data, I want to store the application content. I want to store my important application content. Let's come out from this. And I want to copy the file from C drive. So here only. So this is the file location. This is the file, and this is the container at this location. I want to copy to app data location. Okay, let's say my application is running inside this Docker container. Imagine like that. And I have just copied some important data of application, and application is serving fine. Let's connect to the Docker container again. And try to check whether the folder is there and the file is there or not. Folder and files are there, right? Let's do one thing. Let's come out from this Docker container, and let's stop the container. Docker stop. This is the container ID or the container name you can use. Okay, container is stopped. How to start a stopped container? If you can execute Docker ps, the content, no current running containers are there. If you want to see all the containers, Docker ps-a. So here you can see Docker is exited 13 seconds ago. How to start the stopped containers? So there is a command Docker start and then the container ID. It will start the container, and then try to execute the command to check whether the files are there or not. exec-it Windows container 3, and then PowerShell ls. I want to run at this location. There you go. Whatever the important file that we have copied, it still persists. Even the container is stopped and container is restarted. But what if the container is deleted? Let's do this thing. Docker stop win container 3. And let's assume that the container is deleted due to some reason. We don't know the reason. We don't care about it now, because somehow the container is deleted. But what will happen to the data that you have stored inside the Docker container? it will be gone, right? So you don't have any persistent concept to your application data. So if I launch one more container, what will happen? It will try to launch a container, but whatever the data that we have copied inside it, it won't be there. So let's execute the same command to check the same. See app data, because it does not exist, because the container is deleted, and whenever the container is deleted, the data inside the container is also going to be deleted. So how to overcome this kind of situations if you want to store some information persistently, even if the container is deleted? So for that, we need to utilize a concept called volumes. So volumes are very useful to store the data persistent, and you don't need to worry about your container availability. Whether the container is there or container is deleted, it doesn't matter. You can have persistent to your important data. Let's do one thing: Docker volume ls. So this particular command will give you the volumes list. And when it comes to the volume, there are two types actually. You can mount the volume. You can mount the host operating system path inside a Docker container. That is one way. And another way is you can create a named volumes using this Docker volume command. So we'll try to see those two options. First, I'll try to utilize mounting the host operating system path inside a Docker container, and then we'll try to see how we can create a volume and how we can mount the volume inside a Docker container. Let's go to the D drive and make a folder there with app data. All right, so let's copy a file. Let's do one thing. So copy the file from C drive, Docker stuff. This file I want to copy at this location, D app data. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll try to run a container, and I want to mount this app data inside a Docker container as a volume, and then we'll try to play around with that. Okay, so how to run a container? We'll use the same command, but apart from this, we'll try to utilize this option -v to mount host operating system volume into the Docker container. And where is your location? At D location, app data, app_data is your folder, and that you want to mount inside a Docker container at C/. At this location, if I want to mount, this is the command to specify. So -v stands for volumes, and left hand side, we need to specify the host operating system path, and then followed by a colon. And on the right hand side, we need to specify the path inside a Docker container. We'll try to execute this command and see what will happen. All right, let's execute this command and we'll see what will happen. All right, the container is got created. If you can see Docker PS, and the container is up and running. So I want to connect to this container, Docker exec -it, and then the container name is win container 3 from PowerShell. There you go, ls. So whatever the file that we have mounted, whatever the host operating system path that we have mounted, it is appearing as a folder over here. Let's go to app data, and here you can see I just created this file, guys, to verify whether it is working or not. Let's do one thing. Let's go to the D directory and app data and delete this file. Okay, we have just deleted the file at the host operating system, and here we are inside the Docker container. Let's do ls. The file is got deleted over here. Okay, we'll do one thing. So with the command, we just mounted a host operating system path d/app data inside a container at path c app data. So what I'll do is I have just connected to the Docker container, and then I navigated to C app data location. And what I'll do is I'll try to create a file over here inside the Docker container, and we'll try to observe whether it is reflecting inside the host operating system path or not. So to create a file inside the PowerShell, we have a command called new item. So path is, and I want to create at C/. Remember, I'm executing this command inside the Docker container, app data, and then file name is container file.txt, and then type is, sorry, item type is file. There you go. It is just created a file inside a Docker container with the name container file.txt, right? So I'm going to the host operating system path, and if I go to D and app data, I can see the container file. So whatever the file that I have created inside the container, it is saved inside my host operating system at this location. And here you can see it's a 0 KB file. Remember, I just created only the empty file. And what I'll do is I'll try to open this file over here. And then I'll try to add some content. This file is created inside the container, but the data inside the file is added from the host operating system. Okay, I'm just entering any random text. I'm just saving the file and closing it. I have edited this file from the host operating system, and I'm going back to the container, and let's see, previously it's a 0 KB file, and if I do cat container file.txt, the content, whatever the content that I have added from the host operating system, still it is reflecting over here from the container, inside the container as well. Okay, let's do one thing, Control PQ, and let's stop the container. And remove the container. There you go. And if I start the container with the same command, what will happen? Okay, let's go back to connect to the container and then validate. App data ls, still those two files are there. If I want to do cat, still the file exists. So even if you deleted the container, if you are using a volumes concept, still you are having a persistency to your data. So this is how you can leverage volumes concept while you are working with the Docker containers. This is how you can mount your host operating system path inside a Docker container. This is one way. And another way is, I'm exiting from this container and I want to delete it first. Stop it. And then delete it. Okay, so there is another way to create a Docker volume that is called named volumes. Let's do one thing, Docker volume ls. If you execute this command, it will display whatever the volumes that you have created with this command. Okay, so you can create a volume using the command docker volume create, and the volume name is app_data. Okay, volume is created. If you want to see the information, docker volume ls, now here you can see the app data is created. And if you check docker volume inspect and app_data, so you can see some metadata about this volume. So basically this particular volume will be created inside your host operating system path, but where exactly it is created, here you can get the information. It is created at this date, and the driver is local, and labels is empty, and mount point is this one. See program data docker volumes app data slash data, and name is app data, and options are empty, scope is local. So let's do one thing, run container from this named volume which we have created just now, and then we'll try to run the container from there. Same command I'll try to utilize, and instead of app data, I want to utilize just app data, because we have just created a named volume inside a Docker engine with app data using this command, and the same volume I want to utilize. Same volume app data inside the host container. I'm just mounting at sli/app data location. Just run this container. Container is created. Just check the container is running or not. Docker ps, and go to this location and then validate at c program data docker volume app data slash data. And I'm going to that location. So program data docker. So inside the docker volumes folder is there, inside the volume. So app data is there, inside the app data underscore data is there. All right, so whatever the volume that we have created, this is the location. So what I'll do is I'll try to connect to the Docker container, and from there I'll try to create the file, and we'll observe so whether this location is utilizing to store the data or not. Okay, let's connect to the Docker container with the same commands. Okay, it's connected, and let's see, app data is created. And then what we'll do is we'll try to create a file over here at this app data location. We know the command how to create the files, right? New item, and then path is, let's see, app data container file.txt, and then item type is file. Here you can see a file is created with 0 byte, and within the container we'll go back to the host operating system path, and there you can see previously it was empty. Now it is created a file over here because we have created a file at this location. That's the reason it's stored inside your host operating system. So we'll edit the same file from the host operating system. Content inside this file is added from host operating system. Save the file, exit, and go back to the container, and just try to cat the content. There you go. Content inside this file is added from the host operating system. So it is reflecting because it is utilizing the Docker named volumes. Control PQ, and even if you delete the container and if you recreate the container, if you utilize the same paths, then your data will be persistent. Let's delete the container. Docker stop win container 3. container is stopped and we are going back to the same location. I'm just refreshing here. Still the file is there. Let's delete the container. Container is deleted. Let's go back to the same location and refresh over here. Still, the file is persistent at the volumes location. And if you create the same container with the same volume, app data, still you can see the data inside it. ls-l, sorry, L is not available. C/app data, and then the file is still exists. This is how you can bring the persistent concept to your Docker content. I hope you understand clearly. That's it for this video. I'll see you in the next video.